All right, so today we're going to do a deep dive into the world of Mr. Beast. We've got his Wikipedia article here ready to go, and clearly you want to know more about this guy, which I totally get. His story is wild. Like, how does somebody go from, you know, just some kid with a webcam to the most subscribed person on all of YouTube? Not to mention, like, all the philanthropy stuff he does, and even like the controversies. So today we're going to try to unpack all that. Like, how did he build this whole empire? What are the secrets to, you know, going viral like he has? And is there even more to him than meets the eye, Beth?
You know what's funny? When you really look at MrBeast, or Jimmy Donaldson, I guess, when he's not on camera, his whole journey kind of mirrors how YouTube itself has changed over the years. Think about it. He got started back in like 2012 when he was only 13.
Right.
Making those Let's Play videos and doing game commentaries, which was like the main thing on YouTube back then.
For sure. I remember those days. It's crazy how much things have changed. So how did he go from that to like the MrBeast we know now, with all the crazy stunts and giveaways?
Well, it seems like his big aha moment came around 2017 when he uploaded that video of himself counting to 100,000. That thing just blew up. And that's when his content really started to shift. He started doing all these like outlandish challenges. Like, remember the one where he tried to break glass with 100 megaphones? Or like watching paint dry for an hour? It was so different and people loved it.
Okay, but even those early stunts, there had to be some kind of strategy there, right?
Yeah.
It couldn't have just been random silliness.
You're totally right. Even back then, Donaldson was obsessed with figuring out how that YouTube algorithm worked. He'd spent hours, like, studying what made videos go viral. And that's when he really started using that knowledge for his own videos. You know what I mean? Like, it was deliberate virality, not just luck. It was like he was engineering his success.
So break down this whole deliberate virality thing. Like, what exactly was he doing that was so different? Was it just about coming up with like the craziest ideas?
It was more than just the ideas themselves. He was really smart about the whole thing. For example, he started bringing in his childhood friends, guys like Chandler, Hallow, Carl Jacobs, and the rest of the crew, and that allowed him to like scale up his content. Plus, the whole team dynamic became a big part of the MrBeast brand. People love their chemistry.
It's pretty awesome how those friendships have lasted through like all the fame and stuff. But let's talk about like the spectacle, you know, what really put MrBeast on the map. The real life battle royales, spending insane amounts of money on anything and everything. That whole junk lord phase, as people call it. And of course, the giveaways. Yeah,
the giveaways are really interesting. He started out giving away thousands of dollars, and then it just kept escalating. Millions of dollars. It was definitely a huge part of what drew people in. But I think there's more to it than that. It became about this shared experience he was creating, almost like some kind of social experiment, you know?
Yeah, you're right. It's not just about the money. It's like you're part of this massive event, even if you're not the one winning.
Exactly. It plays into this whole idea of experiential philanthropy. It's not just about donating to a cause. It's about creating this whole event around giving, this shared experience. And MrBeast totally gets that.
So it's like he's tapped into something way bigger than just entertainment. He's built this whole community around his philanthropy. But at the same time, Donaldson was smart enough to realize he could build a business empire along with all the giving.
Oh, totally. He saw the potential to turn YouTube fame into something more sustainable, something with different ways to make money.
Let's talk about the business of MrBeast. He definitely didn't stop at YouTube. I mean, you've got MrBeast Burger Feastables. He even launched his own fast channel. It's like having your own TV network.
It really is kind of mind-blowing. He's basically built his own media empire. Take MrBeast Burger, for example. He partnered up with restaurants all over the place and created this delivery-only menu. Pretty brilliant, if you ask me, at least at first.
Yeah, I got to admit, those burgers are pretty good. I might have ordered a few while I was getting ready for this deep dive. For research, of course.
No judgment here. But you actually bring up a good point, because that MrBeast burger thing has actually gotten Donaldson into some trouble lately.
Right. Yeah, the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Donaldson's saying the quality of the burgers isn't consistent, and he wants out of the deal. He says it's hurting his brand. But the company he partnered with is not backing down, so now it's this whole legal battle.
It just goes to show that even with all the success, things aren't always smooth sailing behind the scenes. But beyond the burgers, you've got Feastables, his chocolate bar company, and he's even invested in things like backbone controllers, which are popular with mobile gamers, and something called juice funds, which helps other creators. He's clearly thinking long-term and trying to make money in different ways.
Okay, but we can't forget about the main reason people admire MrBeast, his philanthropy. And I'm not just talking about the cash giveaways.
Yeah.
He launched #TeamTrees and a #TeamSeas, which raised millions of dollars. And that money had a real impact on the environment. And then there's Beast Philanthropy, his whole YouTube channel dedicated to giving back.
What I find amazing about #TeamTrees and #TeamSeas is how he got the entire YouTube community involved. I mean, everybody jumped on board. From Mark Rober, the engineer who does those crazy glitter bomb videos, to PewDiePie, who, held the most subscribed title for years. It created this incredible sense of collective action, like proof that online communities can actually make a difference in the real world.
Absolutely. It really showed the power of the internet to mobilize people for a good cause. And with Beast Philanthropy, we see a real focus on tangible aid, like providing food to people in need, building wells, donating shoes. It's not just about writing a check. It's about directly improving people's lives.
Right. And it raises some important questions about philanthropy in the digital age. Like, is it sustainable? Does it address the root causes of these problems? How do you even measure the real impact? It's complicated.
Those are definitely questions we should explore further. But I think we also need to address the elephant in the room, the controversies.
Yeah, there have been some pretty serious allegations against Donaldson and his company, especially about the working conditions and claims of a toxic environment.
And we can't ignore the lawsuit surrounding his new reality show, Beast Games. Contestants have come forward with accusations of mistreatment, injuries, even unpaid wages. That's serious stuff.
It's a stark reminder that a positive public image doesn't always tell the whole story. It really underscores how important media literacy is. We have to think critically about what we see online, not just take everything at face value.
It's true. You've got MrBeast, the entrepreneur, MrBeast, the philanthropist, and unfortunately MrBeast, the subject of some serious controversy. It's a lot to think about, and we've got even more to cover in part 2 of this deep dive.
To be fair to Donaldson, he has denied a lot of these accusations. And in some cases, there are different sides to the story. For example, he says that he offered his former editor, Matt Turner, financial help and even helped him find a new job, even though Turner had made those claims about the toxic work environment.
Right. And I think it's important to remember that, these controversies don't erase all the good things that MrBeast has done. But it definitely adds another layer to the story, something we got to keep in mind when we're trying to figure out, his overall impact.
Absolutely. We can't just ignore the bad stuff. We have to look at the whole picture. But hey, maybe we can shift gears for a bit and talk about another fascinating part of MrBeast's journey. How does he keep coming up with fresh content and keep those views coming in year after year?
It's pretty incredible. He's always pushing the limits of what you can do on YouTube. I mean, he recreated Squid Game in real life, gave away an entire island. It's like he's always one step ahead of everyone else.
I think a big part of it is that he just gets it. He understands the psychology of what makes things go viral. He knows how to grab people's attention. And he's not afraid to spend serious cash to create these moments that you just have to watch. I read somewhere that he said he's willing to drop millions on a single video if it means pushing the boundaries and making something truly unique.
And it's not just about the big flashy ideas. He's so strategic about every little detail, the titles, the thumbnails, the pacing of his videos. It's all designed to keep people hooked. It's like a masterclass in how to optimize for YouTube.
Yeah, for example, you know how he uses those thumbnails that just jump out at you?
Yeah.
With the bright colors and the big bold text? That's not an accident. He knows that people are scrolling through their feeds really fast, and he has to make his videos stand out. Same with the titles. He uses keywords that people are searching for and phrases that make you curious, like what's going to happen in this video?
So it's not just about spending a ton of money on some crazy idea. It's about understanding how YouTube works and using that knowledge to make content people actually want to watch.
Exactly. And once he's got you hooked, he keeps you engaged with his super fast editing style. People have short attention spans these days, so he makes sure there's always something happening on screen. Keeps you from clicking away.
He's also really good at promoting his stuff across all his different channels. Like his main channel, the gaming channel Beast Reacts. He uses them all to get more viewers and build his brand.
That's smart. It's like creating this whole MrBeast universe. He might promote MrBeast Burger on his main channel, then have his gaming channel play a game that features the burger, and then do a reaction video on Beast Reacts. It all ties back to the same brand. It's brilliant marketing.
Remember that finger on the app thing he did? People were literally glued to their phones for days just for the chance to win some money.
Oh, yeah, that was such a cool idea. It was like this genius way to get his audience involved outside of just YouTube. And it created so much buzz in the real world. It proved that he's not just a YouTuber. He's a true entertainer who can adapt to all kinds of platforms and formats.
It does make you wonder, though, is this whole thing sustainable? I mean, the pressure to make bigger and bolder content all the time, to keep topping himself, seems exhausting.
That's a really good question. It's definitely a demanding way to live your life. And we've already seen how that kind of pressure can lead to burnout and even ethical problems. Like with those controversies about the working conditions at his company and the lawsuit about Beast Games, it suggests that maybe things aren't as perfect as they seem.
It's a good reminder that behind all the spectacle and the millions of views, there are actual human beings involved.
And it's also worth remembering that the internet is constantly changing. What's popular today might be completely forgotten tomorrow.
You're right. Tastes change, algorithms change, new platforms pop up. Who knows what the future holds for MrBeast and his brand?
I guess that's part of what keeps us watching. It's like we're all witnessing this real-life drama unfold, and we're invested in the story, for better or for worse.
So as we head into the final part of our deep dive into MrBeast, we have a lot to think about. Is he ultimately a force for good? Or is he just a really smart businessman who's figured out how to use the attention economy to get rich? What do you think? Okay, so we've talked about like MrBeast's crazy rise to fame, all his businesses, his philanthropy, and yeah, the controversies too. As we wrap up this deep dive, I kind of want to zoom out and think about like the bigger picture. What does MrBeast's story tell us about online content these days and like philanthropy in the digital age? And the whole power and the downsides of influencer culture.
I think it's a really fascinating case study. Like MrBeast has almost become the symbol of YouTube itself. He just gets it. He understands the platform better than almost anyone. He's willing to put in the money to make high-quality videos. And he's figured out the formula for going viral.
Yeah, he's definitely cracked the code. But what's interesting to me is how he's managed to, like, blend entertainment and business and philanthropy. It's all connected for him.
Exactly. He's turned giving away money into entertainment. And he's shown that doing good can also be good for business. But it does make you think about the reasons behind online giving. Like, is it really just pure generosity? Or is it calculated to get more views and subscribers?
It's a tough one. And honestly, I don't think there's like a simple answer. I kind of feel like it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
MrBeast's a smart guy, no doubt. And he's definitely figured out how to use his philanthropy to build his brand. But at the same time, he's still giving away millions and millions of dollars. And helped a lot of people along the way.
And that's where this whole conversation about influencer culture gets really interesting. These creators have so much power and influence, they can shape the way people think and act in ways that we never could have imagined just a few years ago.
It's like a new kind of celebrity. But it feels way more accessible, more relatable. Like people feel like they actually know these creators, like they're friends. And that creates a ton of trust and loyalty.
Which means it's even more important to scrutinize their actions and hold them accountable for what they do. All the controversies surrounding MrBeast are a good reminder of that. We can't just blindly follow these online personalities without questioning things and demanding transparency.
Right. It's easy to forget that even people with good intentions make mistakes, especially when you're under so much pressure to maintain this perfect online persona and keep churning out viral content all the time. That can really mess with you.
No doubt. And this is a conversation we need to be having, not just within the creator community, but with the viewers, too. We all need to be more critical, more discerning about what we're consuming online.
So what do you think the future holds for MrBeast? Can he stay on top of the YouTube game? Will he be able to overcome these controversies and come out stronger? Or will everything he's built collapse under its own weight?
It's tough to say. The internet changes so fast. What's hot one day is old news the next. But one thing's for sure, MrBeast has had a huge impact on internet culture, and his story's not over yet.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the world of MrBeast. He's definitely a complicated guy. He shows both the amazing potential and the possible dangers of online fame. He's a brilliant marketer, a super generous giver, and yeah, a flawed human being, just trying to figure things out in this crazy online world. His story makes us think about some really big questions. About online influence, the ethics of digital philanthropy, and the power and responsibility that comes with having millions of people watching your every move. So what are your thoughts? What's your big takeaway from all of this? What do you think MrBeast's legacy will be? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.